Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Hex Token channel. Your host Superman. Good to see everybody in the chat there, and say hello. If you are new to the channel, of course, subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And if you haven't got into a Discord, jump into Discord. We're up to 173 people, as you can see. So heading up towards 200, and of course you can make that possible. Get in there, folks. We've got lots of cool stuff in there. We'll talk a bit more about that later on. Very, very cool. We're on hex.com, and we've got a couple of topics to talk about. Obviously, we're going to be talking about PulseChain price predictions, and of course, the road to the big returns. That's what everybody's out there for. Apart from, of course, having fun with the community on the way. And of course, we've got 250x, 500x, 750x, 1000x, and this is kind of in the ballpark of the first year. So we've got a cool poll running up at the moment. And you can see the poll there already. Hey, we've got 18 votes already, so hot off the press there. What do you think? 20 votes, I should say. What do you think? I've misspelled that, but what do you think PulseChain X returns will be within 1 year? 250x, 500x, 750x, or 1000x there. So get into there. We'll see what the poll's like later on in the live stream. Very, very cool. Now, obviously, PulseChain's getting closer and closer and closer. Some people are calling for the 1st of May, as early as the 1st of May. Given how well the sacrifice balances are going, the tempo in the dev chat, things like that. Others are still holding to more pragmatic approach, and maybe the 15th of May. Wow. That's pretty awesome stuff regarding the PulseChain timeline. And of course, that means a lot more people are talking about price predictions again. Obviously, we have waves of that happening. What is the price going to happen? There's different measurements of the price. You know, you can measure it from the sacrifice price. It's kind of like a cost price. You can measure it from the launch price. You can measure it from the price discovery, which is typically what we've used on this channel. In other words, what will the price be from the all-time low? In other words, you don't set a particular price for Pulse, but you say it's going to make this much X returns from the bottom of the price. So that's kind of typically 3 different approaches. But of course, a lot of people, when they use the sacrifice price, have been using the retail price. In other words, kind of the price around 0001, whereas really people should probably consider using the whale price, which is quadruple 041. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays, because you've also got to absorb the X returns that the whales get, and really that's typically the bigger one. Now, many of the whales will just be holding for a very long time, but there's also always some sharks and other big counts that are likely to sell into the pump, and so you've got to take into account that selling, and no one really knows what that's going to be. Everyone's super bullish on PulseChain, but no one really knows what the selling is going to be, and one I can make best guess. Now, typically, the best way to approach doing X returns is to think about liquidity and adoption. So those are typically the 2 ways of looking at liquidity in the pools and adoption. And so we're going to be talking more about that in this live stream. So hopefully it's going to be fun. Let's get into the chat though and say hello. That's kind of my introduction there. So we'll jump on to comments here. We got Brownie in the house. Good morning, Superman. Coffee in Hex Token Live. Yeah, well, I've got my own copy here as well. So can you see my copy? There's my copy there, and it's in a Spider-Man cup. You know me, I love sci-fi. I love Avengers and everything else. And of course, MCU. You get it. I'm into it. You see that on a lot of my thumbnails. That's how we roll. And of course, hashtag Superman. Right, cool. We've got Hex Gold Turtle now. Woo-hoo-hoo, day 23. Now, day 23 Hex Gold Turtle. I'm not sure what that means. Let me know what that means. Maybe I'm missing something there. Day 23. I'm not really. Let me know. Hex, here we go. Says Brizoldi. Hey, Brizoldi, good to see you. Woo-hoo-hoo. Nice. And Lies Beneath says, hello. How are you today? Says Lies Beneath. Very, very good. And of course, Lies Beneath's got the ultimate strategy, I think. Hex, EHEX, Pulse, and PLS for the win. Man. This is a Maxi channel. I say this often, and that is a beautiful summary that Lies Beneath always gives us. And it's Lies Beneath's got the truth. Lies Beneath the truth. So a very good strategy there indeed. Nice. Crypto Heartbeat's in the house. Super Hopium. Hey, Crypto Heartbeat. Always a pleasure to see you in the chat there, and keep up with your awesome work. We do love all your interviews and the different varied topics that you cover, as well as the different people that you interview. It's a really, really cool channel. Congratulations. Keep up the great work there. Bellfish Kings in house says, woo, joined Discord last night. Nice one, Bob Flish. Yeah, so we got the Discord going. Now, obviously, PulseChain, Hex, and PulseChain, Hex, and stuff like that are really big on Telegram. Got a presence on Reddit and obviously Twitter. But of course, we're really trying to push the inroads into Discord. Discord has a lot of NFT projects, a lot of Polygon projects, BSC projects, stuff like that, a lot of other different chains. So really making a presence felt here on Discord. And of course, it's a way of extending Hex Token channel for 24/7. So 24/7, or at least, most of the time, there's going to be somebody in there to have a chat with about PulseChain Hex in a more trusted environment. So obviously nothing's ever perfect, but we try to make it as much of a trusted environment as possible. And you can get lots of different points of view on different topics. And so you can get into a Discord and get onto that. So 173 members. We only launched it about 3 days ago. So maybe it was 4 days ago. I forgot now. And we're on the way up to 200. So get in there, folks. Really, really cool. We're going to have lots of cool stuff here. You get a notification. So you can see there's a notification there showing up on YouTube shows. So this is the current one we're on at the moment. So you can see that there. You can even put emojis on this. So you can put emojis on that. And away you go. Bam. There's also Twitter notices as well, where obviously key Twitter stuff will get notified in there as well. There's useful links, and this is going to be built out really big. I'm going to be doing more work on this today on useful links, and we've got all these cool links to all the websites that we think are really key. We're going to make it the most comprehensive list out there. We've got the video tutorials, of course, short video tutorials, 2 to 5 minutes, so you can check that out, and obviously the numbers there. We've also got a general chat for Richard Hart tokens. So if you're a Richard Hart Maxi like me, you'll be in that chat most of the time. And of course, you can chat about all that stuff and related stuff to that. So very cool. We've got the price chats in there too. So you can do price chats and price bots. So you can see there's bots in there as well. You can call prices, you can call gas fees, what the current gas fees and things like that. Very, very cool. We've got a non-crypto chat in there for people that want to talk about other things, maybe fast cars, maybe entertainment, maybe sports. You can get in there and talk about that. We've got a voice chat, of course. And then the next category we've got is a project, PulseChain projects. Now, these are risky, all right? We consider these risky. So you can get in there and talk about them. That could be lots of different things. Pulse Dodge Coin, which is an airdrop, things like that. We've got other live streams in there as well. So you can talk about other projects. Might be Pulsicans, might be Power City, whatever you want to talk about, you can get in there and talk about that. And of course, the project links are separated out just so that we can monitor the links that are going into the channel. Then we've got if you're a Hex Token channel member, you'll be able to get access to a private chat there for general Hex Token channels there. And of course, if you are a Hex Token channel member, you'll get a purple name. So if you've subscribed to this channel, hit the join button. We've got 3 different memberships, Pulsicans, Hexkins, and Richard Hart Club. Then you can get the purple. Most members are blue. And we're going to keep improving the gamification of the site and the fun of the site. So it's just started and get into that. And obviously we've got some mods and stuff like that on there as well. So looking good there, folks. Get into there and get into the chat and have a lot of fun. We've got a lot of people in there already at the moment. So nice to see that. People asking basic questions in there. How do I do this? How do I what's the best way for this and this and that? So really, and there's lots of other people there that can answer those questions. So definitely get in there. It's the community that makes it work, right? The community is the one that makes it vibrant and fun. So get in there and have a lot of fun with that. Cool. Let's go through a couple more comments here. We've got Brazolgi's with the ducks here. We're playing feeding the ducks. It's our backtrack there. Yeah, in fact, Sam says, woohoo, nice one. MJ Money's in house says this is going to be like owning the top 3 horses that win the Kentucky Derby. It exactly is like that. PulseChain, PulseX, and Hex is just beautiful. Janet Hex says started streaming 103 seconds ago. Sorry, I'm late. Says Janet Hex. Hey, Craig, you're welcome. And Craig, yeah, hit me up, Craig, about tomorrow's show. Let me know about that because we've got to queue that up. I've also got something else that's queuing up, so we've got to. I don't want to miss out getting on Gen Hex, that's for sure. Andre says, what is Hex? Well, here's Hex here. You can find Hex on hex.com. We're going to talk about that, but we're mostly talking about PulseChain today. So we'll put the Hex link in the bottom there, Andre. So definitely check that. Get into Discord, Andre, as well. The link's in the top of the video description. And you can jump in there and ask plenty of questions. So that's probably the way to go there. We've got Collins in house. Hey, bro, looking forward to the proceedings. Good on you for all the info leading up to the launch. Nice one. Great stuff. Thanks, Con. Brazolgi says to Andre, the greatest asset on earth. Yeah, that's true. Gen X, hello, my friends. Techno NGOs in the house, morning from down under. Woo-hoo-hoo. Nice to see Tianchi in the house. You can get 250x in crypto. You can get huge X's in crypto. It's the best performing asset class in the world, Andre. Crypto is the best performing asset class in the world. It leaves stocks, the stock market behind. MJ Money's in the house, nice, and Hex and Papa as well. Woo-hoo-hoo. Nice one. We're rocking it on with a lot of these Hex Token channel members. North Face is in the house. We are so close. Woo, we are close. As I said, some people have been calling for the 1st of May. And I think that, because of the stack balance is looking so close, and word on the street from the dev Telegram is they're getting pretty queued up. Technically, everything's ready to go, really, I would say. They've got to line up the server ops. So server ops being, make sure the computing power's good enough for the hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people coming over to PulseChain. They don't make sure that the everything's up and running. They've got to have, we'll see how close. They're getting close though. And they may I'm getting to the point where they may not have testnet 3, but we'll see. Ultimately, we don't know. We'll have to find out. But they may jump from testnet version 3. We'll see. If they do it, it would only be a very short one, I would think. It is on the sacrifice balances, still got the words in there, so we'll wait and see on that. Pulse Bezos says PulseChain forever. That's absolutely right there. And Hex says, hey Matt, MJ, Papa, Briz, Turtle, Brownie, Lies Beneath. Hey, big shout out from Craig. Alex is in the house as well, and woohoo! And we've got PulseX in there too. Who else is in the house there? Craig says, yep, beautiful weather, nice. Chienko says, beautiful weather, let's get drunk together, says Chienko. That's pretty funny. All right, so yeah, New Zealand is super sunny today. Woken up to a very super crisp, clear blue sky after having a few windy days, but it's pretty good weather now. All right, so cool. Let's jump over there. That's the hex.com site there, so you can hit that up there. Obviously, it's got the words on the street. The Hex stakes average 38% returns a year. That's paid out in Hex tokens. First, a blockchain certificate of deposit, high returns, no minimum, decentralized design there. So, Andre, that's the one you're looking at. Almost coming up 450,000 wallets almost. And Hex did 9,481x in under 2 years. That was up to September last year. So, pretty powerful stuff there. The website's fantastic. Check it out and do your investment due diligence on there. Lots of details there about Hex. So, check that out. The other thing, of course, I did a video yesterday on the 5 ways to get PulseChain once the PulseChain is up and running before the bridge opens up. And of course, Hex really is the best way to do that. We know there's going to be good, strong liquidity there. We know that there's going to be good demand, and therefore the price of Hex on PulseChain is reasonably expected to price up. And in my view, price up at parity, if not at a premium to the Hex on Ethereum. So very, very cool. Now, the other thing, of course, Andre, if you buy Hex today on the Ethereum chain, you're going to get a copy on PulseChain. So it's 2-for-1 deal. And of course, PulseChain is going to be the first system state copy of Ethereum. So Andre, that is a pretty amazing thing. You may have stumbled across the greatest opportunity of a lifetime. So congratulations, YouTubers. Can be a wonderful place sometimes. Once again, do your investment due diligence. Nothing on this channel is investment advice. But we've got PulseChain coming. That is a fork of Ethereum. And we've got Hex.com. We've got the greatest gold-plated products in crypto. So it's going to be awesome to see them play out over the next 18 months to 2 years. All right, so let's get into a little prediction before we get on to the PulseChain X returns, the big returns. We're going to check out the prediction. This is posted by Richard Hart here on Watcher.guru overnight. And I'm jumping just straight to the section. There's a lot more above it, but most of you know that information. So we're going to jump to the Hex price prediction 2025. This is people's opinions, so we'll have to see what they say. Algorithmic base, we're going to improve the size of this. And we're going to get rid of this advertisement here. Algorithmic based crypto prediction service, Gov Capital, has predicted that Hex could be worth $2 in 2025. And the prediction also states that Hex will breach the $1 milestone in September 2023. So this one here is 2023. This is not as quite as bullish. This is probably close to Overwatch's conservative estimate here. So that's pretty interesting. Their prediction also claims that Hex could be worth $3.75 in 5 years down the line in 2027. So there's some food for thought there. Gov Capital's Hex price prediction for 2022 estimates it could come closer to 0.25 cents mark in July. It expects Hex to climb above $1 in September 2023. Of course, we're more bullish on this channel compared to this price estimate, but this is what they think, and reach $2 in 2025. Its crypto price prediction argues it to be worth almost $3.75 by April 2027, and that was reported by currency.com. So that's pretty interesting. You can keep that out as one of your price predictions there. Hex will reach $1 faster than Dogecoin, and there's a little Dodge there. Woof! And we've got the sound effects as well on the channel. That was free, by the way. We got Dara Gadziala, the co-founder of Stocks, Crypto, and Forex Exchange Agency. Sorry, the Bomb Hustler is also bullish on Hex. He predicted last year that Hex will reach $1 much faster than the celebrity-backed Dogecoin. Hex, I don't even know what the price of Dogecoin is. I haven't even seen the price of Dogecoin. And we might jump to that just quickly, just to make sure I know what the price of Dogecoin is. I don't even look at Dogecoin, to be honest. This Dodge is at 13.6 cents at the moment, so that's pretty reasonable to me. Pretty similar price to Hex at the moment, so interesting. And it's up 0.26% in the last 24 hours. So that's pretty much the article there. I'm going to post that link in the chat there if you want to check that out and read the rest of the article at the beginning, because I didn't read that out because we know most of that stuff at the top. So you can check that out too. Craig says Gen Hex also Sunday 5 p.m. Eastern special Sunday stream. Hey Bit and friends. Okay, yes, yeah, so I'll have to watch that there, Craig. I'll watch that for sure. Good evening. Good evening, Superman, says Christos. Hey, good to see you, Christos. I did reply to you on Twitter as well, Christos. So hopefully that answers your private question there. Hex and Papa has got the up and to the right, 100%, absolutely. And thank you for the info. Insane, says Andre. Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. Like I say, I think you may have stumbled on the opportunity of a lifetime. So pretty exciting. Make sure you learn as much as you can before investing, though. That is the case. Lies beneath the truth. $2 2025. Yep. And hit the like button. Hex Skins Fat Sammy Slice in the house, and a Hex Token channel member as well. 2025. Yep. So cool. It's always good to get different perspectives on things. That's what that's all about when you're investing. And of course, when you're a community, nice to have a lot of wide range of perspectives. Pulse Dogecoin is $1.23. Yeah, we're talking about Dogecoin, not the Pulse Doge, but I appreciate that. We're going to get into that later. But here we are. So we've got Hex.com. We've got the price prediction here from a couple of independent organizations. You can see the rest of the article in your own time there at the top. And of course, we've got the Hex price here at the moment, the 12.5 cents pretty much, or 12.6 cents at the moment. So just a little bit of selling off here. But once again, this is deceptive. This time of period, we're the quiet before the storm, before PulseChain launches. This kind of period is very deceptive in the chart. So a lot of the small players get chilled out, but we're holding up pretty well. If you look at the daily candle here on Hex, we had an all-time high all the way back here. And of course, all the way back here is the 19th September, and we're currently at that's 216 days since the all-time high, and we're down about 72% or so. That's actually incorrect. Sorry, 78. Let's go back to here. From the all-time high of 52 cents, we're down 75%, 76%, and that's really good. So markets go through cycles. Hex has had 13 of them. More or less 13 highs on there, and of course we've been stuck in this triangle ever since, and that's because we've got PulseChain coming. So the Hex chart is highly impacted by the PulseChain sacrifice, the PulseX sacrifice, and of course PulseChain mainnet coming. So we've also impacted by the fact that Hex is a staking token, and therefore we have stakes that come out, and Hex's maturity at the moment is about 2.4 years. So it's still growing up. So once it gets into that year 3-4 of the current year we're in, the next year, we're sort of ramping up to that virality, that mass adoption, and then of course we're going to get more mature as we go in time. So it's still very early days. And yeah, the next kind of price level prediction is something like $1.20, $1.30 for Hex in the next move up kind of thing. So typically we'll overshoot that and maybe come back towards something like that. So pretty interesting stuff. We're going to see how that plays out. At the moment, of course, we've got this big resistance line, this big orange thick line here. We've already passed the Hex double here. Hex double was on 19th, so we've definitely broken the structure there, but that's because we've got PulseChain. PulseChain is software that needs to be, make sure it's 100% before it launches, so it just takes time to do that. Hex took about a year, we always say, or just over a year, and of course PulseChain is looking pretty similar at this stage, so by the time we get there. So we've still got a few days here. I've got the best estimate of PulseChain launch 15th of May. And of course, we're going to bust out of this triangle, but we really want to bust out of this triangle and quite strong looking. And when it happens, it's going to be gone. The train's going to be gone. And of course, people will be too late. So we're kind of in that DCA period at the moment in this zone here. And we have had good support between 10 and 11.5 cents here. The other thing, of course, is I picked up some yesterday. Picked up some Hex yesterday. I picked some Hex at most of these bottoms, as I said. I think I've done 6 purchases along this time frame here. So very, very cool. Once again, do your own investment due diligence. But yeah, looking pretty cool. PulseChain is coming. And who else has the first system state of Ethereum happening? Yeah, well, Hex is the best one to go for that, isn't it? So cool. The same founder of Hex is founded PulseChain, and that is Richard Hart. So if you want to do some research on Richard Hart, check out richardhart.com, or better yet, get into Discord and, of course, hit the useful links. And you can scroll straight to Richard Hart there and get all his official links, including his website there, richardhart.com, if you want to learn more about the founder of PulseChain and Hex and PulseX. So very, very cool. All right, nice. Go back to general chat there. But that's where we are up on the price there. We're going to have a quick look at the DMI here. DMI, we've got the buyers in control and the sellers not in control at the moment, so that's positive. So we have got the buyers back in control. The sellers are down here. But the momentum is down at 18. So we're going to have to wait a couple of days for this to turn around. But it's nice to see the buyers in control on the DMI there. And we've got plenty of room on the RSI, so looking good there. So that is Hex. We've just had a quick look at Hex Fundamental. And of course, Hex is going to be a benefit from PulseChain. So we're going to talk about that in a second. So we've talked about how Hex is looking really good. That's one. Imagine a table or a chair, and it's got a couple of legs on it, maybe 4 legs, depending on how big the table is. Let's say it's got a standard 4-leg table. Well, Hex is one of those legs, and so Hex is looking really good. There's a good entry to get Hex in. PulseChain's coming, and of course you're buying after the price cycle's gone down. Looks a pretty good DCA level, as we say. So looking good there. And of course, the other thing, of course, we've got Hedron. At the moment, Hedron is 12.15 on the price. And of course, that's had a bit of a pullback there to a full pullback, just like Hex has had a pullback after the hitting an all-time high. Hedron has too, after hitting a 12x high. So 12x, isn't that incredible? 1200% there. So pretty massive. And it did it in 8 days. Welcome to crypto. And of course, there we are. So we had that happen, and we're back down. We're still up, currently still up about 125%. So not too bad. And we've got Maxi as well. Maxi is very popular. Maxi is at 12.68 cents, and this is trading 1-to-1. So we'll put 1 Hex in to the stake pool during the minting phase, and you get 1 Maxi back. But in the future, of course, 1 Maxi will be worth many Hex and many Hedron as well, because it's going to be a pooled stake. And it's going to be impressive to see this play out over time. Obviously, 15 years is a long time for it to be staked, and we'll see how the market price of Maxi is traded versus the treasury price. That's going to be an interesting feature of this particular contract. So we're looking forward to that. So we've got all these cool things. These are the 2 derivatives, Hedron and Maxi, on top of Hex. So a pretty awesome growing ecosystem. You can see how Hex is getting stronger and stronger, not just by the size of the community, but also the products that are coming into the ecosystem is absolutely amazing. And people are innovating and adding value to Hex stakers big time. So it's a wonderful place to be. And of course, we also have, let's check out the Maxi at the moment. We've got 8 days to go until the minting phase finishes. At the end of that minting phase, all the Hex that people put into the pool is going to get staked for 5,555 days. You heard right, folks, 15.2 years, which is pretty awesome stuff. So we're going to get into the launch pad there. We're going to connect our wallet to see what the results are at the moment. And this is on Ethereum. And remember, on Maxi, you're going to get a copy of it on the PulseChain. So it's a 2-for-1 deal, just like Hex is a 2-for-1 deal. Hedron is a 2-for-1 deal. Maximus is going to pretty much like that too. So it's going to be pretty awesome to see that PulseChain is really going to change a lot of people's lives. It's going to be pretty amazing. And if you're in early, imagine yourself, if you're in early now, like you are, you're a bit like a person getting a first-class ticket onto an expensive train or an expensive airplane. So it's going to be pretty fun. All right, so let's switch around. We're going to get onto the Ethereum network. And cool, let's wait for update to that. Yep, we're just going to refresh this one. Now we're on Ethereum. It's on PulseChain 2B. So it's a lot of fun. Hey, welcome everybody, by the way. Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And of course, this is where you mint. You put your Hex in and you mint your Maxi out. And heaps of people have been minting Maxi. I can't believe how many people. It has been a super popular project. And of course, it's only still got 8 days to go. So until it closes. And then it's going to be fascinating to see what happens to the price of Maxi after that. At the moment, it's obviously a 1-to-1 mint to Hex. It's pretty much matching Hex most of the time in its price. But what will happen after that? That's going to be the interesting thing. The dashboard's up here. So we're going to have a check at the dashboard and see how much is in there today. I think we were at 89 million yesterday, the last time we checked Maximus. We'll wait for this to update. Excuse the white line. This is going around. And there we are. Woo. Okay, so almost $11.9 million. And we've got 93.8 million Hex in there. Wow, that's so good. That is so good. So awesome stuff. And people are trying to hit 150 million. I think they're going to do the 150 million. It's pretty much almost certain now, in my view. What will happen is we'll get a lot of up increases every day over the next 8 days. And I think the last day we'll get some big Hex in there. If there is a shortfall, let's say we're at 130, 140 million. I think if there's a shortfall, we'll get some big Hex going in there at the end. That's kind of my guess there. And at the moment, 93.8 million. So that's fantastic results. And we've got 8 days to go. Can you believe it? So I think that's only, what was that, 6 days so far, 7 days. So pretty amazing stuff there. And 150, what was that? Let me do the math there. 93.8 divided by 150. And that's 62.5%. So really, basically, getting very close to 2/3 of the way. Now, obviously, 150 million. What's significant about that? Well, when you stake Hex, on Hex through the Hex.go site, you will get a 10% bonus for 150 million Hex. So that's most people don't stake that much Hex ever, unless you're a very large dolphin or shark, something like that. So it is a pretty big deal. And of course, this is a pooled stake. Now, 150 million Hex is also significant. We could play around with what the circulating supply is. So if the circulating supply is something like 4.2%, that might be about 22 billion Hex. And of course, that would probably be, maybe 3/4 to 1% of the circulating supply off the chain on Ethereum and off the chain on PulseChain. Because obviously everything on Ethereum is getting copied over to PulseChain. So that'd be off the circulating supply of both. And that's what I call the public circulating supply, not the not circulating supply including the origin count. So if actual circulating supply is even lower than that, maybe it's at 2.5%, and then that would be 15 billion, and that would basically be 1% of the circulating supply, because 150 million is 1% of 15 billion. So you can sort of see it's in that range. It's significant either way. If it's 0.5% or 1%, that is a significant amount of Hex off the market for 15.2 years. And of course, it's a win-win, right? It's a win for all the Hex stakers, and it's a win for all the Maxi stakers. So the Maxis have the stakes in play. The Maxi token is an ownership token. So if you own the Maxi token, you own the Hex and the Hedron in the Maxi stake. And that's very, very powerful. And it's a win-win for both. So very, very, very exciting to see that. Now, people, obviously, let's get into the other details. So at the moment, 13,448 T-shares at the moment. That's pretty amazing, right? That's super amazing. And we expect that if it gets to 150 million Hex in the pool, which is the same amount as the Maxi, is going to be just under 22,000 T-shares. So that's going to be fantastic. That already makes it a shark. So I think it crossed over a shark at about 10,800 or something. So there already is another shark added to the pool. You don't often see sharks coming into Hex anymore. Typically you'll see sharks disappear, and that's what we have seen. So very rarely we'll see sharks popping up with accounts and maybe big accounts like Hex Token, things like that can do that sort of stuff on individual wallets, but it's very rare to see those type of level sharks now. So we've got the payout here. We've got 5 there. I'm going to change that because it's rounded down incorrectly. We'll have 6 there. We've got the price of Hex at the moment and the price of Hedron at the moment. So this is the average daily payout. This is very conservative. It's based on the current payout. The conservative part in particular is the payout per T-share. That is going to be super high later in the life of Hex. 50, 60 Hex a T-share type thing later out, further out in time, and out in the 10-year type vicinity, so somewhere like that. And of course, the prices of Hex and Hedron are unknown in the future, so it's reasonably conservative, at least to use the current prices, which are actually on for Hex on the bottom of cycle and for Hedron on the bottom of the price cycle too. So that's kind of nice and conservative. The estimated yield $57 million for that, and the estimated total treasury redemption value is 69 million at the moment. So that's where it is at this stage. The estimated redeemable value per Maxi is 5 Hex and 4,000 Hedron there. But you'll notice that in the redemption value overall is out. This is talking about in 15.2 years time. That would be 542 million Hex and 373 billion Hedron. So pretty amazing. Now we can obviously change the prices here. We could say that Hex is worth $1 in 15 years, and we put the dollar in there. And of course, we could keep Hedron the same there at this stage, and we could say that that jumps all the way. The pool becomes $542 million, so over $500 million there. And obviously, if we want to increase this to say, let's make that 50,000. Let's make it like that. Then obviously we're up to 722 million dollars there. So almost three quarters of $1 billion in the future, and that would make Maxi worth $7.76. Currently worth 13 cents. It would be worth $7.76, not adjusted for inflation, of course. But inflation, who knows what that will be on average over that period of time. So cool. That is kind of where we're at the stage. We've got the minting phase, day 865, ended day 8771, and the minting phase ends on day 879. And then by the time we get to day 880, the stake will be started. So all the Hex in here will be put into a stake. It's a pooled stake, and that will be formed the treasury. And the treasury will build up as that stake gets paid Hex and gets paid Hedron as well. So start date is 880, and the last day for the stake is day 6435. And at that day, that's when people can then redeem their Maxi. So it is a redeemable DAO if you want to look at it, a redeemable treasury, but it is 5,555 days after the date the stake stakes there. So Maxi will be traded for the life of it all the way to the end. Now, that's not to include, of course, a lot of Maxi will get lost on the way after 15.2 years. Look at how much Bitcoin has been lost since it started in 2009. And of course, a lot of Maxi will get lost, just like a lot of Hex is going to get lost. We talk about inflation being up to 3.69% into Hex, but of course we have penalties. 50% goes to the origin account, and we view that as not getting back on the market. And also that means that's lower real inflation there, or effective inflation, we might say. And of course, you're going to have people lose Hex, and of course, wallets get lost, keys get lost, all sorts of stuff. And so we're going to have effective inflation be lower for that as well. So that means that it's going to be fascinating to see what's actually there to claim the Maxi in 15.2 years time, because that's going to be fascinating, right? So cool. There's bit of cover that. We've also got PulseChain, and we're talking about this as been a bit of a controversial airdrop. And of course, on this channel, we've still got it in the. I haven't claimed it. We've still got this in the side cam. There are a lot of people claiming it. There's YouTube people covered it yesterday. Some people with high profiles like Matty Allen, Trayvon, and people like that. And so you can check out those videos. We also had a very good video that we posted here earlier. It's up here with Top Gun Hexagon, who's a bit of a mathematician, and he does actually a contract review. Now, he's not a Solidity coder, but he can read the code for the most part. So it's probably the closest thing we've had to that I'm aware of that we've had to a coder. And you can watch that video here. I suggest you watch it. He goes through the code, and he also speaks of his limitations in there as well. So it's well worth a watch there with Top Gun Hexagon. So we've still got open mind to that. We're just going to see how it plays out for a little while. Obviously, as you do that, of course, the price of Pulse PLSD will fluctuate around. Remember, it is reviewing your T-share stakes. It's an airdrop to those people. And so if you're people have different views on this. Obviously, everyone wants to be safe, and I suggest that that's your number one. If you've got T-shares, those are the most invaluable things that you can have. And there are only 10.6 million of them, so you want to be very, very careful with that. They're obviously going to get copied on PulseChain, but remember, the same people that have got the diamond hands on Ethereum will also have the diamond hands on PulseChain for the most part. But you'll have two passive incomes as well, two awesome chains, and obviously PulseChain is going to be superior, but you get my point. It's going to be pretty important there. So we'll keep watching this. We can actually go to the actual chain itself, Ethereum, and see the pulse dodge there. We've got 720,000 pulse dodge. Remember, the maximum is going to be 12 million, or potential maximum is 12 million, but there's 720,000 there. I doubt that we'll get even close to 12 million, because I don't know if that many people will be claiming that strongly. The holders there, 1,657 people have claimed based on wallets. So that's how many people have gone at the moment. Remember that there are about 285,000, I think, what they call active holders of Hex at the moment. And of course, there's about 92,000 stakers at the moment, depending on which data you look at. So that's give you some perspective of how many people actually claimed. We can actually see that people are claiming there. Obviously, if you're a squid, you'll be getting about 750. If you're a dolphin, you're getting about 900. And if you've got a smaller wallet than that, you'll be getting less here. And you can see all the people claiming here, 265s, 100. These are the smaller wallets, tinkering turtles and things like that. So I think these are 265. I think is a tinkering turtle, but these are the ones that are claiming here. You can see a lot of, maybe a tinkering turtle is this one here, 600. What is that one? 9750. Yeah, maybe tinkering turtle 600 here. So we're getting a lot of smaller ones here claiming as well. We've got some crabs claiming there. These 25s. I think a little shells or something like that. Shells or crabs, one of those two. I think it might be crabs. So you've got all these they're claiming as well. So you can see people are actually claiming fairly common on this, but once again, this channel we're pretty much just waiting to see how this plays out for a while, and so we'll see what happens there. All right, so cool. Let us jump over to the market there. We've got the BTC sitting at 40k and Ethereum at almost 3,000, just slightly under those important psychological levels though at the moment. So real fighting to stay there at this level. That's a bit of a worry, to be honest, from my point of view, that it's going back over and back down under, back over, back under. We were back up at 32,000 before, and we managed to push higher. So we'll see where it goes at the moment. We don't want to really fall from this height. We don't want BTC to fall from 40k down to 30k, especially with PulseChain coming. We want the higher asset values, very important. So that's very important. So that's kind of a background of what's going on at the moment. And of course, we're going to get into talk about PulseChain with the big X's. So this is kind of the strength that's coming up. PulseChain is coming, and you will be able to check your values. Your airdrop's going to be the biggest airdrop in crypto history. It's going to be the biggest yield farm in crypto history, as long as we get that V3 liquidity in there in particular. And of course, it's also going to be the fastest way to mass adoption through the bridge from Ethereum. Now, the two utilities that make it superior are that it's going to be up to 4 or 5 times faster, potentially up to 200 times faster, with 3-second block times, and versus Ethereum's at 13 seconds. Sorry, I always say cents. 13 seconds. Now, the second thing, of course, is that it's going to be super cheap. So instead of costing you, $4 or $5 to do a transfer, it's or even higher, $10, $12, depending on how high the gas fee is. It's going to cost you a fraction of a penny, and basically, if you got one pulse, you'll be able to do hundreds, if not 1,000 transactions per pulse that you've got. So it basically makes things frictionless, right? So commerce just flourishes, all the dApps flourish that are on there, whether they're GameFi, DeFi, whatever, they're all going to do well. So NFTs, they're going to do well. So that's going to be the superiority. So when people get that sort of environment, they tend not to leave that environment, right? The other side, of course, is that it's going to have the biggest yield farming. It's going to have one-sided staking, passive incomes through that. Also, a lot of third-party dApps going on there, offering different other ways of earning. We've covered many of those: Pulse, Power City, internet money, Mintra, all these things coming on, all these new products coming on, in addition to all the things that are getting copied over from PulseChain, from Ethereum, sorry. So every single ERC20, all the contracts that are on Ethereum are getting copied over. 721s, 1155, all that stuff's coming, and of course all the communities can come as well. Now a lot of the stuff, a lot of the projects that there's over 500,000 token contracts on Ethereum, that's all coming over, and many of the projects that struggle over there, like metaverses like Mana and stuff like that, they'll be able to flourish on PulseChain. So it's in their best interest of the developers and the UI interfaces over there to get Pulse on there, and all the other the PRC20s, which will represent the copies of ERC20s, get those as well. So we already know that Shiba's coming, and they're going to be at PulseCon 2022. So that's very positive. 3 million followers on Twitter, 1.1 million wallets on Ethereum. So a very big deal. And so this is the kind of adoption that we want to see. So this is what I mean talking about. We need we'll have good liquidity into the pools. Once the bridge opens, liquidity will come in. We've got already got key players, big, large VCs, the Origin accounts, Sacrifice accounts, family, all that sort of stuff, setting up liquidity. But the AMM bot running, setting up liquidity, all that sort of stuff is going to be awesome for liquidity. We're also going to have, obviously, mass adoption. That's the key, is the network effect there of people coming in. Obviously, everyone's going to get their airdrop. They're going to be able to get all the incentives in yield farm, etc. And of course, we're going to have all these people coming over. So where does that lead us to the big returns? Basically, if we have a whale price, leading at, we have 250x returns, 500x returns, 750x returns, 100x returns, and of course, we get close to, the liquidity of Ethereum. Maybe we could end up with a price of a couple of cents, right? So that's kind of where we're heading towards in the first year. We could head towards somewhere in the 1 cent to 5 cent range, somewhere in that ballpark. That's kind of where we're heading in terms of competing over the first 12 months with the Ethereum in terms of the valuation and the prices. So if we got whale prices, we've got whale prices here of quadruple 04. We can see that when we go to the PulseX list here. We've got the pulselead.com list here, and we've got the whales at the top. So we've got the very biggest whales here, the Hex Gold whale here, Overwatch here, and stuff like that. We can see that the whales here have prices here of quadruple 041, quadruple 042, etc. You go all the way down. Let me just scroll this down very quickly because my mouse is a little bit moving fast. That's not working well at all. Let me use the scroll bar here. We'll start again. And so here we are with the whale, gold whale, the Overwatch, the gold whale here at those prices. We're going to scroll that down. That's a bit better. And you can see us moving up in time. As we move up through all the wallets, sacrifices, we're getting bigger and bigger prices here for people that sacrifice, right? So a lot of people have been coming down to the lower end here, and myself included. And talking about the prices here that we've got towards in here. So we get towards the fact that we are down towards 0.001 cent. Now I know it's down 99 cents there, but we get 0.001 cent here. And of course, you can see the smaller sacrifices here, US dollar value around $356. So people are talking about how much X returns from this level of a $356 sacrifice. Now that's a very important. That'll be worth no doubt if PulseChain reaches the ambitions that we're talking about with the big X returns. Then $356 will be a fantastic amount of Pulse to own, right? So if you've got this sort of level of Pulse to own, if we do the 1000x to 10,000x, etc., this will make you incredibly wealthy owning this much, right? So people that owned a Hex before it made 1,000,000%, they owned this sort of money. It would have been insane, right? You've been super rich. So just remember that. So this is the price that a lot of people have been multiplying, but of course they forget about the fact that most of the volume is in the first. This is wallet number 73,000, and there's about 145,000 wallets, so maybe 150 at the tops, and the PulseX one, and there's about 45,000, maybe 50,000 tops in the Pulse one. So this is the PulseX one in particular. But if you had, the prices are pretty similar ranking. If you had that on the PulseChain, you're going to have all these whales above you. The top 1,000 whales will control probably about 70% of the supply. So what are the X returns that they are getting? You really need to multiply it from these big whale prices. Here we've got quadruple 045 because it might get higher as these guys, if they get a X return, they're the ones that can take profit and at a lower price, right? So they're the ones that will be a hurdle. Now, I think a lot of the whales, these big whales, will be playing the long game, but there's always the sharks, as I say earlier, that might sell down a bit. So that's the kind of people that you have to take into account. So if we had the low price here of quadruple 041, I've just rounded it down slightly to quadruple 04, but I can just put a 1 in there for 1 or 2 and just update the price there. Then you can see the price would be 1 cent. So 250x would be 1 cent for the whale. So that's pretty much that. That to be 1 cent would be a 250x return for the Overwatch and the Hex Gold Whale. They'd be dancing around, splashing around in the water there. Might see them breach out of the ocean while some tourists go by and go, wow, those whales are gorgeous. And of course, they'll be even better looking when they've got Pulse and PulseX at 1 cent, for example. So that's kind of the 250x math. Obviously, if we change that around and if we changed wrong one there, we changed that around and we went for the small guys, the ones that are doing sacrificing about $350 instead of 20 million or 40 million or something like that, we'll go down to 0001. Now 250x would be a 2.5 cents. So there we are. We've got some sort of price base here because I think this 250x is quite reasonable to expect. So we've got between 1 cent and 2.5 cents there is kind of the fighting battle there for 250x. And we've got that in the poll at the moment. So we've got what do you think PulseChain X returns will be within 1 year? 250x, 500x, 750x, and 1000x. Now, the other thing, of course, we've just talked about this price multiplier, but the other thing is that if we get this has to be matched in by the liquidity that we're expecting to see over on, say, Ethereum. And of course, this fits in the ballpark too. So we're in the ballpark here of this kind of return. Now, if we go up to 500x for the small place like we typically do, remember, there's 3 ways of doing a all-time price discovery in terms of the X returns. One is the sacrifice price, kind of like a cost price. And the other one too is because as soon as people start making profit above their cost price, they can start taking profits, right? That's the idea. Number 2 is, of course, the launch price, which we're not using here, right? We're not using that. And number 3 is the price discovery, which is what we will be talking about most of the time when we've talked about the global price discovery. The price went up, had a price, and it found a price, and then it went down to a new low. And then, of course, we had price discovery from there. Obviously, the price is starting from 0, so arguably, they're infinite, but we actually have a cost price for the sacrifice, even though it's no expectation to work with others. So hopefully that's clear, that kind of discussion there. 500x there, that's going to bring us up to, we'll do 500x, that's going to bring us up to 5 cents. So this is the ballpark. People talking about cents in the game. Can we get that high? Well, this is kind of the place where we're looking at the moment. We could definitely get up to that high there, and with matching liquidity with Ethereum as we build up towards Ethereum's liquidity, which around about, as I've said in previous videos, we might end up with maybe 3-4% liquidity, but we might start off with 7% of the total amount of tokens in the liquidity pools. So I think that's pretty cool. And we're up to 95 votes, folks, and looking really good. We're going to end that towards the end of the live stream, but we'll see how we get on. So let's do 750x just to run these numbers quickly. Now, normally I put these on the spreadsheet and they're all there. I thought I'd just type them out to this time, just so we can jump around between numbers. So that's 7.5 cents there. So people will be pretty happy with that. That's a 750x. And finally, let's get to 1000x and just show that visually. So 1000x there, and we're looking at 10 cents. So up to 10 cents there. So when we've got the poll there, can we get to 10 cents? That's in the game. So I think it's definitely in the game. We're going to have fun with that. Now, we can ignore market cap. We're just thinking about liquidity and the potential upside there with the network effects. So remember, those are your key things: liquidity in the pool, getting that up into equivalent, and of course to Ethereum, and of course the network effect of the number of users that come over to PulseChain. Now, remember, this is the first system state copy of Ethereum. This is not a ghost chain. You're not having to build up projects and communities in it. You're not starting from scratch. And we've already seen how well even ghost chains have performed very well, like Binance Smart Chain and Polygon and other chains. So there's been a whole raft of chains coming up there. But this actually has everything on it already. And of course, that means the commerce will flourish with the biggest airdrop in crypto history. Everybody on PulseChain, on Ethereum will get it. There's up to something like 140 million wallets. It is crazy that can come over, and probably 3 to 4 million active people over there as well. So you can see how quickly, once the bridge opens up, how quickly adoption can happen. And as soon as people find out they've got airdrops over there, mad gain. So what does that do? That brings us the network effect, and also brings us additional liquidity to move the prices up over to up to the big X returns that we're talking about, because that gives us the squared multiple, and it's gonna be pretty exciting to see that. So let us take this down a bit further. We're not going to do all the price ranges, but let's do 0.41. And of course, we can see from a whale's point of view, 1000x would be 4 cents. So we have price, we have resist, we don't know. So we've got the liquidity and the network effect. Those are all pluses, and they help get the big X's. But we don't know what the sharks do. You know, some of the bigger accounts, remember the top 1,000 wallets control like pretty much 70%. So we don't know how many of those in there will end up selling down. But we know that we've got this massive network effect. Possibly we could have thousands to one coming in to buy that pulse and pushing the price of pulse up. So it's very bullish, folks. Really bullish. I try to keep that kind of in layman's terms, simple, nice and easy. So hopefully that's been reasonable to follow there. But this is what it would be: 4 cents there, 10 cents 1000x for the small players who sacrifice maybe 350 in pulse. But for the whales, that's 4 cents as 1000x, much easier to get to. And therefore, if you're wondering, hey, why are we getting so much selling resistance? It's possibly because we've got some sharks selling down because they're making mad, crazy gains. The other thing, of course, we will have with the network effect, we will have potentially massive amount of ratios between those who originally sacrificed and those who are wanting to get it now. Now, in addition to the bridge opening up with all the people coming over to get the airdrop, to come into yield farm, all that stuff, we've also got the people that sacrifice for PulseX that missed out on Pulse. They heard about Pulse, and they sacrificed for PulseX. So what have we been finding lately? We've been finding lately, so those people are going to, a lot of those people, a certain percentage of those people want to trade for Pulse. And then we've been finding out later that a lot of people coming in saying, oh, I missed the PulseX sacrifice. I want to get Pulse and PulseX. And now we've got this third group coming in saying we want Pulse and PulseX. You can see how they're going to be part of that network effect coming over. So it's going to be pretty madly crazy. So that's pretty much how that's going to play out. And way I think this is going to happen in the timeline. I wish I'd put my timeline up, actually. I was supposed to put it up there, so I do apologize with the timeline. It's probably going to summarize that all. But basically the idea, if I go to the Hex chart, that's probably the best way to do it. And let me go full in here, is that as we move forward in time, so let's say that we have May here. I don't actually have the date on here, so I might have to refresh this. Let me refresh this chart. The dates have lost it, and I'll have to pull away the comments there, pull away the band, and we'll just take that away. And we're going to take the comment off there. I'll come back to the comments after finish my discussion here. And we are going to full screen that and pull up that, and full screen there, and we're going to scroll that over. And I still haven't got the dates on there. I apologize. Don't know why that's not showing up there. Anyway, so let's say we get to, I haven't even got the dates that I can work it out, but let's say that we get PulseChain launch here on the 15th, which is the vertical blue line there. And then I suspect that we have 1 or 2 days to have the bridge open. Before the bridge opens, that means people can ratio trade. So if you've got your, be able to add the mainnet into your MetaMask, you'll be able to see all your ERC20 tokens that are now called PRC20 tokens on the PulseChain side. So that's all you have to do is just swap over between Ethereum and the PulseChain mainnet. You'll probably have to add the PulseChain mainnet, and then you'll be able to see all the tokens that you had at a particular snapshot, a block snapshot. You'll be able to see that on PulseChain, and of course you'll have an airdrop there. And of course there'll be particularly there'll be no US dollar prices. At least that's what people perceive are going to happen. It's uncertainty about what the PRC stables are going to be worth. But let's assume that there's no value to that, and we've got the bridge opening up in a day or 2 times. That means you can ratio trade. A lot of people obviously are going to be looking to get the Pulse. Now, the value proposition for Pulse is, we talked about how it happens with the liquidity and the network effect, how the price gets up there. But of course, the actual Pulse itself it is. I lost my train of thought there. The pulse itself is going to be in basically huge demand from the PulseX people to actually get. So actually lost my train of thought there. I can't believe it. So we've actually got the pulse there. We've got the pulse actually with the liquidity pools that you'll be able to swap. That's why I got back on track now. You've got your PRC20s. You'll be able to ratio trade some of them for the pulse through the router, but you're also going to have the best ones to get are the ones that they're going to get valued up. So that's the Hex token. It's typically suggested by people to get the Hex token because we know that will be supported a lot, and a lot of people will be able to swap that into Pulse. And of course, PulseX, people who've got Sacrifice with PulseX will have that and be able to swap that into Pulse. And so that's what we'll be able to ratio trade. Now, the people have speculated about what the ratio trade will be. And of course, I think that all the arguments all the drivers that I've just given you, that Pulse is really going to be in huge demand. What's the value proposition? Now I've got back on track where I was supposed to be going. And that is that Pulse is the native token of Ethereum, of PulseChain. So Pulse is the native token of PulseChain. ETH is the native token of Ethereum, and you need that for fees. So everyone's going to want to get that native token. That is the speculative play. It's also the more conservative play. So that means that big money that comes over with the network effect over through the bridge after it opens, they're going to be wanting Pulse because that is the conservative network play. They may not have been able to sacrifice for that under their guidelines because a sacrifice is too risky, but they could come in and buy it later on. So that's kind of the large holders, the institutional holders, any of these, particularly corporations that have that kind of limitation that are currently, these are the ones that are currently operating on Ethereum. And of course, they'll be able to come over and do that. The other thing, of course, is that people speculate on the native token. They compare it to how well Ethereum did. Ethereum did 18,000x. Then that's what people think about the PulseChain. They say, well, it's first systematic copy. That's different, completely different. That is amazing. And of course, they're going to put their bets on that kind of a chain. So that's where the value drivers come for this chain, right? So we've got the airdrop. We've got everything dropped over for PulseChain. So that adds value to PulseChain, right? We've got the fact that it's the native token. It is the fee token, right? It has a fee burn there, 25%. We have all that with PulseChain. That is the value driver, right? It's not the fact that we've got PulseX as well, which is like the Uniswap on Ethereum. It's like that. So we've got PulseX. That has amazing buy and burn. It has incredible numbers. Like if you based it on the numbers, the dollar values, PulseX is superior to PulseChain, at least to start off with. And of course, so those are different drivers, right? You've got this amazing buy and burn. $1 billion a trade equals $700,000 of buy and burn on the PulseX. But the different drivers are this. The drivers for the chain are the fact that you've got the first system take copy. You've got it's the main fee. It's the safer bet for large buyers, and of course, everybody needs some to transact on PulseChain. So you can see all the drivers there. So a lot of people say, well, the maths of PulseX is superior, and it is. But the fact is, there are other drivers, and that's kind of the key message I'm trying to get across here, is that there are other drivers for the Pulse token that will drive that price up. So this is what I'm expecting. Now I've said that those are the different drivers. Hopefully that's clear. That the Pulse chain will get a bit up higher first, and then I'm expecting after that the PulseX, the funds to start flowing into PulseX. There will be. That's not to say that there aren't going to be big buys for PulseX at the beginning, and of course there's going to be this ratio trade in the first day or two. But then I'm expecting, of course, PulseX, and then of course a lot of that to feed into Hex. Now I know that big people are going to be picking up PulseX and Hex, and they're not going to be. They're already well positioned for Pulse, right? So I'm really talking about people that aren't already well positioned that are going to go into Pulse for those key drivers, right? So we're going to have that in the first day or two, and then of course we could expect that to play out. Then we're going to have the bridge open up, and it's going to be absolutely mayhem. But those things that I just said still hold true. So that's kind of how I expect the waves to happen. Is that Pulse will attract a lot of extra attention. Then PulseX will have its day as well, but that's not to say that it's not going to be big buyers accumulating PulseX or Hex on PulseChain, because I think there are. And so that's how I think it's going to play out as we move through after launch. And of course, the ratio trading, I think if we got PulseX at the moment, we've got like 3 to 1x on the ratio trades on the testnet. I think that kind of feels right. That kind of feels right at this stage. And we'll see how it actually plays out. It's going to be pretty volatile when it first starts, the ratio trading. So do take care. Now, obviously, some people are taking the strategy of just get PulseX, just trade, just do the ratio trade, and you'll be fine in the future because you're going to get big extra returns. Now, that is true. And but I also think that it obviously impacts the upside that you have, right? So if you have certain upside, if you make a wrong ratio trade, you will have to wait longer, right? In relative terms, like it's a relative performance to catch up to the alternative if you hadn't done the trade. So it's going to be fascinating to watch that play out. But in any case, I do think that with all those value drivers that we've just talked about, with the liquidity, with the network effect, with the value drivers and network effect connected there, obviously a subset, the value drivers a subset of the network effect, then for the most part, then you're going to get these big upside prices potentials. And remember, this is for the first year, so up to 1000x. I think that's quite a reasonable approach to have. And of course, at the minimum there, 250x seems very reasonable to me. And of course, we've seen big X returns with even the exchanges, with a lot of the dexes and stuff like that. That's been a pretty good impact. So I think over a year, I think that's pretty good. 18 months, of course, is even more reasonable. And then I think after up to 2 years from price discovery, this is not from the SAC price, but from price discovery, we could see that 10,000, 12,000x, and we should be able to reasonably expect to see that in half the time, at least half the time that Ethereum did it, and maybe even a third of the time. So if Ethereum did it over 5-6 years, why not that we don't do those big X returns over 10,000x in 2 years, maybe 3 years? So I think that's kind of a pretty fair assumption, since the fact that really it's the first system state copy, so it's got everything Ethereum's got on it. Why should we have to wait for a 6-year 10,000, 18,000x? So I think that fits pretty well with some of the expectations that people have. Obviously, none of this investment advice. We just don't know the future. We're taking probability. We're trying to rationalize the reasons behind it, and of course, look at some of the technical how-tos, like liquidity and network effect, that help to make this happen. So that's kind of a big summary there. 250x, 500x, 750x, 1000x. I think those are all quite reasonable within the first year, and we'll see how we get on as it unfolds. And I think probably in that order, PulseX and Hex, I think in that order. So I think that's pretty cool. Let's jump over to the chat there and get into some of the comments here. MJ says Pulse 33 is $1.27, says MJ. Nice one. It's got a pretty small liquidity pool, that P33 is, last time I checked. It's a pretty small one. All right, we got 120 votes. We're going to end the poll and see what the final poll results were for the big X returns. And we've got what do you think PulseChain X returns will be within 1 year? We got 250x and we got 35%. So I think that's always being with the lower number, as it means the bigger chance you've got being correct, right? So this is what counters do. If you put up a lower number, you have a better chance of being correct, but it's also it's just a lot easier to achieve. So cool, 35%, nice. We've got less than or equal to 500x, 29%, and we've got less than equal to or greater than 1000x, 25%. And less than equals 750x, 9%. That's interesting. That's similar to our poll we had yesterday, but we had a different question. But it seems like the three quarter one, the 750, we always get about 10 or 11% there. So we've got 9% for there. That's interesting. We had 120 votes, so not too bad. Now I think that definitely any of these could actually happen in the next 12 months. So it's 12 months after launch. But definitely 250 is looking pretty good to me, and 500x. So I think that we take 500x, which is the halfway mark, and of course 500x. Let's put that in there. That's for a whale. So let's put the whale price in there. 500x. That's going to give us a price of 2 cents. So 2 cents from a whale's price seems pretty good to me. I'm sure everyone will be happy with that. And of course, if we put in the retail price there of 1. Now this retail price is also around the mean price. So we had a mean price of 0.1. Now I know people have paid higher than that. People, particularly in the mercy phase, they're way higher. Just take that into account. But that's 5 cents. So 2 to 5 cents is kind of the line there, depending on which starting price you have. So if you're a whale or a small retail, I typically think that the whale price is a much better price to base. If you're going to use that remember there's three bases to use. You're going to use the sacrifice base. Then within that base, you got the whale price or the retail price. which is around the mean, happens to be around the mean, which is $300, $400, $500. So we've got 0.05 there. So that's the price at the top of the range. 2 to 5 cents seems pretty good to me as well. So cool. I think that's a pretty nice little summary in there. We've got thanks for the poll, by the way, 120 votes. That was fantastic during the live stream. And I welcome everybody to the channel, Hex Token channel representing, and of course your host Superman. And of course, it's just funny how many superheroes we've got in the Hex PulseChain community. We've got the Joker, we've got the Superman, that's me, and I'm sure there's a few others. I think we've got a few other characters as well. So there we go. Hey, if you are new to the channel, of course, definitely hit the link to the Hex Token Discord. We have moved on to Discord. This is huge for crypto, and so we're going to make Hex and PulseChain and PulseX presence well known on Discord. And so definitely hit the link at the top of the video description, and you can join Hex Token YouTube. Now, this is not just this channel. This is also more of a syndicate channel. So we've also got Gen Hex, Craig Wadding, who's also one of the moderators at the top there. You can see there. We've also got Heinz Crypto, also another YouTube content creator. And he's also in here as well. So you get all the updates on the YouTube shows and the Twitter as their feeds coming through as well. And of course, we have the useful links there. So a lot of people say, where's the link? I need to find this link, this link. You'll be able to find them all here. We're currently drafting this list up, but it's going to be the ultimate list by the time we finish. We've got lots of links to add in here, and we're going to have it nicely organized. So you'll be able to jump in there. So too. And we're also going to have video tutorials. If you're after 2 to 5 minute video tutorials, we're going to have that in here as well. PulseChain, PulseX, and stuff like that. And so far, we've got 176 members. Our next target is 200. So you can be part of that as well. Get in there. Now, this community is only as good as you guys make it. So obviously, just get in there. And if you've got questions, maybe how to do this, what is this project, stuff like that, you can get in there and ask away. There's lots of different people to give different perspectives. Some people don't have much time, and so it's really great to have other people that have, maybe they've got more time, or maybe they've looked at a project you haven't looked at, and you want to ask about that, so you can do that. So we've got two different chat groups. We've got the general chat, which is RH tokens. So it's really about RH, PulseChain, Hex, PulseX, and just general comments, stuff like that. We've got a price chat in there as well. You can talk about the prices, what's going on, what you think's going to happen, what's the TA, all that sort of stuff. We've also got non-crypto chat. If you want to talk about sports or anything else you want to do, buying cars, whatever, you can get into there. The general voice there. So that is the general chat for RH tokens. And then we've got a riskier chat. So if you're after PulseChain projects, all the new projects that are coming on, perhaps airdrops and things like that, I've got the word risky in there just to let you know that this is not Richard Hart projects, basically. And of course, which we consider far more safer. So cool. And you've got new tokens in there. So you've got people talking about new tokens and posting videos and things like that. If you do want to post a link to those sites, though, you need to put it in the project links so that moderators can make sure that they're reasonably safe for people to interact with. So just take that into account. So cool. And we've got that. If you're also a Hex Token channel member, and you can hit the join button if you want to become one. They've got PulseChain, Hex, and the Richard Hart Club. There are 3 different memberships, and of course you'll get the Hex Token channel private discussion there too. And of course you'll also get a colored name there. You'll be in purple. Standard members are in blue. Hex Token members are in purple there. You got moderators in red, and of course Superman there in yellow. Now, the other thing, of course, is that there are bots in there. So we've got bots. It means you can get the latest chart, get the latest gas prices and things like that. So there's a really, really cool stuff. And of course, we're on level 2 on the Discord, and of course, looking to level 7. And of course, the community have been boosting this up. So we've just hit level 1 yesterday or the day before, something like that, and heading towards level 2. This is the 4th day, and so you're getting in nice and early. Definitely get on there and join in. You see there's a couple of notices there from Twitter already. Cool. So you can get into that. Very, very nice. All right. So that is what's happening now. Now, we've talked about PulseChain. Now, obviously, what's your airdrop going to be worth on PulseChain? And what is a tool that you can use to share? Now, obviously, we're in PulseChain testnet 2B. And of course, the fact is that that's only fake prices. They're pretend prices. But you can use the prc20s.com site. And I'll post the link in the chat there. That would give you a link to the PulseX prices at the moment. But remember, they are not real. They're not real at this stage. So just remember that. So you paste your address in there. You'll be able to see what your value is. Let me paste this one in here. And this will then let you know what that's worth. So $2.6 million. Okay, not all addresses are going to have that. This is just testing it, and of course, we've been playing around with fantasy trades on PulseX. So just as we get used to the testnet, so that we get ready. For the mainnet. That's pretty much what we're doing. So anyway, this will show up the different assets that people have, and of course, whatever they've got on Ethereum, in that block height, they'll get copied over into PulseChain, and you'll be able to see the value. So it's going to be a very cool tool to incentivize people to come over. So you'll be able to share it with friends. Say, hey, what's PulseChain? And they go, oh no, I don't want to know about PulseChain. You go, have you got assets on Ethereum? Yeah, I got assets on Ethereum. Oh, then check out PRC20s.com, and you'll see, your airdrop could be worth a lot of money. So you can do stuff like that. So cool. Now this will probably get linked up to the real mainnet when it goes live, and hopefully that will be a useful tool. Once again, this is a third-party site, so just take that into account. Cool VIP there. So that's pretty much that. Let us jump back to the Hex price. I'm going to get into the 1 hour, and we're going to get into the chat too. We're going to go for about an hour and 20 minutes. I'm doing a second live stream later today. So I will definitely be preparing for that. That's going to be a lot of fun, that live stream. I will probably have a presentation for that one. So just take this. Sometimes I have a discussion like this today. The days I have a presentation. And then sometimes we just hang out and talk about the prices in the market, because we love to talk about X price at the moment. We're going to have PulseChain the price to talk about, and we're going to have PulseX and many other projects to talk about in the future. It's going to be a lot of fun. Cool. All right, so let us get into it. Johnny's in the house. Woohoo! Nice one. And Papa, what's up, Goodman man? What's up, family? Says hi in crypto. Another content creator in the chat there. Ein Solo, yeah, Ein Solo. And Craig is the Hex Jedi. That's right. What else we got going? We're going to jump through some of these. Al Murlos is in the house. Superman, Hex token is the best. Go Hex. Absolutely, Al Murlos. Agree with you on that. And whoop, 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 says Crypto Pay. Yeah, I do the whoop, whoop, whoop. That's me. Now, some people fund that because we got a lot of, we got the whoop, 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 anthem. That's our anthem, channel anthem. Because we're excited, man, about PulseChain and PulseX and stuff like that. So if you think we're a little bit crazy, we're just a little bit excited about what's coming up. It is the opportunity of a lifetime. Obviously, if you're doing your own investment due diligence, obviously everything on this channel is, my opinion, and of course, provide infotainment as well. Until we wait for PulseChain to launch, and then it's going to be party time all over. We'll be showering ourselves in confetti. That's what we'll be doing. That's pretty much it. Ben Hex says, I can't believe PS is up 1500x. Now, the liquidity pool on P33 is very small there, Ben. Just remember that. So you can get very massive movements in the speculative play. That is a speculative asset, just let you know. They are also the creators of PRC20s.com, so P33. So, yeah. All right, cool. Let's go back to there. And what's up, family? It's now. It's in the house. Yeah. And Thomas Turner says, hi, everybody. Good to see Thomas Turner there. Welcome to the house of gains, says Tordestoni. Absolutely. What else we got in the chat there? Jump through some of these. We got lots of cool people in there. Christos is in the house there with the ducks. And Snake Hex says, how much does Superman help his fellow man? There is a special place in heaven for what this man does. Love you, bro. I appreciate that, Snake Hex. Appreciate that to you. Likewise, we have an awesome community. So it's a two-way street, right? An awesome community is what takes us to enjoy the journey on the way to 1000x. So cool. Stake it, baby. The piece is bliss. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so if you're new to Hex, I think if you want to get PulseChain, you've missed PulseChain Sacrifice, the PulseX Sacrifice. You can check out the video yesterday, but ultimately, Hex is probably the best bet. Like I say, it's going to be supported by the ecosystem. It's the same founder. And I think this is probably a good way of being, if you do want to get Hex, you can either keep the Hex and stake it for 38% return, get a copy on the PulseChain, you can get 2 for 1, but also you'll be able to trade some of it. If you don't have to trade all of it, you can trade some of it for some Pulse if you want to get some Pulse early and hold on to that Pulse as well. Now, the basic strategy I always say is get your Pulse, your PulseX, your Hex, and then sit on it. And of course, if you can accumulate some safely, do that. That's the safest strategy. And if you want to pick up some really attractive PRC20 tokens when they get copied over from Ethereum, like maybe SHIB and a few others, do your investment due diligence of those and check those out. So yeah, I think there's a couple of good ones in the top 50 on Ethereum at the moment that you could consider. Including Link and Mana and stuff like that. So it's going to be fascinating to see. They have pros and cons, and we don't know. No one openly knows. We do have the SHIB community coming over to PulseChain. It's going to be at PulseCon 2022 with John Chong. the chairman of Asia. So also the one that controls the Twitter accounts. So with 3 million followers. So I think that's going to be pretty fun. We want to see more and more communities come over. That's why we've got to have very open arms. So very open-minded to all the communities coming on PulseChain. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm super excited about a lot of the projects that are coming on too, like Mintra, Internet Money, and things. I'm looking forward to them delivering their products. Liquid Loans, of course, and others. I think that's going to offer a lot of new commerce, new DeFi into PulseChain. I'm looking forward to the NFT boom, obviously with Mintra and Power City and things like that. And there's other wallets as well. LN, I think, is also one. Oh, is that a bridge? LN's a bridge thing. Lots of third-party bridges coming. Third-party swaps, cross-chain swap bridges, fiat gateways. They're all coming to PulseChain. Can you imagine how crazy it's going to be? A lot of people asking about how do I get some profits off PulseChain, and obviously until there's a bridge, a fiat gateway, and I think there's going to be some of those pretty quickly. I think possibly even Liquid Loans maybe working on something on that pathway. Could be pretty fun. The other thing, of course, is you will be able to transfer that over through the bridge, the Pulse Ramp bridge at the moment, or any third-party bridges. They're going to pop up real fast. Believe me, these things they're already in development. They're going to be pop up pretty fast. The other thing, of course, the fiat gateway directly, instead of having to go through Ethereum, which might take 7 or 8 steps to get stuff out, there'll probably be fiat gateways coming in to PulseChain, and of course you'll be able to get that money on and off. So if you want to invest more, you can bring money in fiat gateway, or if you want to take money off to pay for bills or something like that, maybe buy a Lambo, something like that, and you can that'll be there too. So lots of opportunities. Now, if people are wanting to pick up a lot of Hex at the moment, and of course the liquidity's been lowered, then you might want to use Matcher, XYZ, or 1inch, and of course to find that, you can go to hex.com, and what that does is that is an aggregator, so it will spread your buy across the different pools. We've got 4 pools on Uniswap, the 2 ETH ones and 2 USD. One's on version 2 of Uniswap, one's on and the others on peers on Uniswap version 3. And of course, an aggregator helps you to spread your big buys. Now, there are some people looking to buy a big amount of Hex, and of course, all you have to do is come to hex.com, and you can just scroll down to exchanges here. And you've got the 1inch exchange, aggregator, and matcher.xyz. These are very good. Also, you can place limits orders through this one as well. So just check those out there, and you'll be able to, that will get spread across the pools, making that means your price slippage will be less, and you'll get more Hex. And that's great, right? More Hex, that's you're winning straight away. That's kind of it. So 1inch and Matcher, check those out. Obviously, learn about them, but they're basically like exchanges. So cool. This is nice. Let us go through as well. We're going to jump through to where was I heading here? We're going to go to Discord here and get into general chat. So get into the general chat. Say hello. It's really a vibrance here, and of course we're heading up towards 200 members there. So definitely get in there. So now it says I see some in the chat are not in our Discord. Come and join the gang. Absolutely, it's now. That was perfect timing. Quilla says hello from England. Yeah, Aussie Nobber. Says Aquila, hey, yeah, I'm actually not Australian there, Aquila. I'm actually a Kiwi from New Zealand. But that's funny. That's funny. We're like cousins. I agree. The accents probably sound very similar to people that are in the north, but it's a bit like that. Australians and Kiwis are probably similar to how Americans and Canadians are, or how I don't know, the British and the there's different ones. Who's next? Is it Ireland, Irish, or is it the Welsh? I can't remember now. Who's close to there? We got welcome, fellow Englishmen, says Pat Sammy. Yeah. El's in the house. Woohoo! Nice. Let's love them. X's, says Al Merlos. Yeah. Now I think this PulseChain is going to be the biggest thing for 2022, and I think it's going to reverberate in the years ahead. It's going to be like a juggernaut landing in the ground. It's going to major earthquake in the crypto thing. So it's going to be pretty awesome. It's going to be pretty awesome for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we take over 50% of the DEX volume, and there's always a chance that we could end up being the number 2 exchange totally. So we could be sitting just after Binance. I wouldn't be surprised if PulseChain and PulseX, the Pulse exchange, can do that. It's going to be fascinating to see that. So let's actually, since I've made that claim, let's talk to CoinKiko. Go to CoinKiko. We're going to go to exchanges here, and we're going to look at decentralized exchanges and look at the volume at the moment that's going for PulseX. Now, we talked about PulseX briefly, And of course, we've got today $4 billion of volume going through the DEXs at the moment. There's a decentralized exchange. PulseX will be one of those. So we've got Uniswap and PancakeSwap and stuff like that here. So we can see that Uniswap version 3's got $1 billion going through it. Now we know that that's going to be about $700,000 of buy and burn at $1 million going through PulseX, and that means it's going to be buying the token, pushing the power, put the price up, and of course burning it, taking that supply off the market. So fantastic stuff there. So 4 billion, when we get to $2 billion, of course, that's $1.4 million of buy and burn on PulseX. And yes, I'm holding my hat because it's so awesome that we could get to that. So pretty awesome stuff there. And a DeFi volume is 3.2% of the global volume there. So I think that PulseChain is going to help increase that DeFi dominance. And also, I wouldn't be surprised if we get to 50% of the DeFi value, whatever that's going to be. Now, this fluctuates depending on trade volume and prices and things like that. But we compare Uniswap here at 1 billion and the volume, total volume at 4 billion. We go to centralized exchanges. We'll see what the centralized exchanges do. We've got Binance here at 14.5 billion. Imagine if we were doing that. Imagine if PulseX was doing that, 14.5 billion a day. That would be 14.5 a day. That would be times 0.7. That would be $10 million of buy and burn a day. If we were doing that, $10 million buy and burn. Slap yourself. That's some crazy stuff, right? So times 365, that would be $3.7 billion of buy and burn a year on PulseX. Slap yourself again, slap yourself. That is crazy, right? It's crazy stuff. But that's the upward potential, right? So if we took over Binance in terms of volume, it'd be pretty cool. Now, let's say we get 50%. That's 2 billion of today's trade volume. That would put us at number 6 in terms of the centralized exchanges. If we did $1 billion like Uniswap's version 3 is doing at the moment, obviously it's got version 2 and stuff, then that would put us at number 9, above Kraken there. But if we did 4 billion, obviously, if we did a total amount that DEXs are doing at the moment, that put us at number 2. PulseX would be at number 2. So I think there's some exciting things there. We know that we've got Tokenomics that's not even in Uniswap, not even in any of the ghost chains, not even in Uniswap, Ethereum. And of course, we've got the total amount of PulseX at the beginning. We've got the magical buy and burn, and of course, which is about 0.07%. And of course, we've got all that goodness going. We've got sort of total supply of PulseX at the beginning, the magical buy and burn shrinking there. We've got the chances of volumes going up through the roof. Obviously, PulseChain with the biggest airdrop. We've got the yield farming incentives, the farming incentives. It is mad crazy, the pumpamentals here. This has never been seen before. So when we're looking at these other X returns and stuff like that, really they're like comparing a horse to a donkey. It's kind of like that. No offense to donkeys, because donkeys are cool, but it's a bit like that, and away we go. So it's going to be fascinating to see us how PulseX performs in this too. So very, very nice. Cool. Hey, that's now in 22 minutes. We're doing pretty well, I think. So we're going to wrap up there. I'm super pumped. I don't know about you. I'm pumped up. So that's probably the way to go there. We're going to leave the chart here on this one. We're going to slowly wrap up as well. I think we've got a new channel member. I better go jump there. It's the channel member. Just trying to find Ace is in the house. So Ace has just joined as a channel member. So big awesome stuff there. Appreciate that, Ace. We're going to do the bow down. Always do the bow down as a physical honor of your awesomeness. So welcome to the Hex Token channel member as well. In fact, I think we may have unlocked another emoji. Let's just double check. We may have another emoji unlocked there. Let me just double check. Let's go. Hey, we need 41 more subscribers, folks. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, 41 subscribers to get to 4,000 subscribers. That would put us at the very bottom of the content creators in PulseChain and Hex. So cool. Let's see where we are up here. I think we're getting pretty close. Let us see. Have we done it? YouTube analytics. Come on. I'm going to jump over there. I've actually jumped through heaps of combos there to get to that. So big shout out to Ace in the house. Just come up here. I think I was up to excess here. So I got up to there. Then we got with Blue's in the house. Hey Blue, good to see you. Big fire to you. And I saw you got a nice shout out there, Blue, on another channel, another content creator. So big shout out to you, Blue, for representing for that. So they give you a big shout out. Hex is the Whales in the house. Boom. Great poll. Yeah, it was a fun poll for sure. Some interesting results. Man, oh man, I don't know why that's not working. Really? Not gonna work? Oh well, that's not showing up. It's YouTube for you, not showing up there. Sandy Beach says, "Hey everybody, just got back from my local happy hour. I watched Gladiator last night and topped off my Maximus yesterday morning." Sandy Beach, you're hilarious. That is so good. Congratulations to Sandy Beach. You must be like getting up there on the Maximus whale list there. Let's jump over to this. Get in there. Okay, so it's not bringing up the data. I apologize, I couldn't do anything there. Woo-hoo-hoo! Sandy Beach in the house, excited. Nice. Yeah, I'd be excited. What else we got going? We'll just come through some of these comments. Chris Marketing's in the house. Woo-hoo-hoo! Good to see you, Chris Marketing. And Toxic Hex Token's in the house. Hi, Sandy. Yeah. Thomas Stern said PulseChain like FUD greater than equal to, yeah. It's less than equal or greater than 1000x. That was the one. That's hilarious. Toxic Hedgehog. We know who Toxic Hedgehog is, right? Hey, Craig, get that hedgehog. Craig's put that hedgehog in there, man. That's crazy. That's a paid troll. That's a paid troll of this channel. Sandy Beach says, "I love all the superheroes." Yeah, me too, Sandy Beach. Talking about Joker and Superman and others out there. I'm sure there's a few others. What else we got? A couple of comments there. I need a purple name, says Master Kane. I think Master Kane is. So I can't even get access to the members at the moment on the YouTube algorithm there. Let me just. Oh no, it's finally in there. Okay, so I think we're still one away from that. So just Master Kane. Maybe we'll look at Master Kane. I don't even know if Master Kane. You've got to be Hex Token channel member to get the purple name. So it's a perk for the channel members. But Master Kane is awesome. Jean-Francois Boxer, what do you think about Pulse Dogecoin? Yeah, we talked about that before, so you might want to check out our coverage on that earlier. But basically, we're on a wait and see at the moment. The best video so far that we've had on it is probably by a mathematician, which is this guy, who's he's very entertaining actually. If you haven't checked him out, check out Top Gun Hexadean. He's a bit of a mathematician, and he can read code to a good degree, but he's not a Solidity coder. But it's a very good video. It's the best video so far, closest thing to Pulse Dodge contract review so far. So it's quite good. I think the next best video that I've seen is Trayvon. He used the unrex.net network to check the approvals. So it looks not too bad at this stage. So gaining support. I just don't want to rush into things, especially when I found the leader a little bit. It's not the best in a communicator. Let's put it that way. But yeah, definitely just on the wait and see at this stage. So I have not claimed, and so we're just being cautious at the moment with that one. There's going to be a lot of airdrops coming, so you've got to be careful. Imagine if you just rushed into every airdrop, and then one of those airdrops was a Trojan horse, and you ended up, because as soon as they get into your wallet, all the previous airdrops you got, bye-bye, you can say goodbye to them. All your TCS, goodbye, you can say goodbye to them. So you just need to be super, super careful. And this is, there's a lot of great opportunities, but there's also a lot of risks, and you need to just, so we're just going to wait and see at this stage. I do think that it's probably going to be okay, but like I said, it's still on a watch list at this stage. Cool. Right, nice, and definitely worth checking out that video if you want to gain a bit more information about that particular airdrop. Is sub my crypto? That's funny. That's funny. It's a funny name. Yeah, a great name for sure. What else we got going here? So look here. We got Nebulous in the house. Hex Token, please put your current day and time under your face. Square like 12:30 p.m. New Zealand time. Yeah, it is 12:50 New Zealand time, so we will do that. I don't know if I can add that to it. It's a limited functionality on this particular one. I'm actually thinking of going to a new content creator, a new software, and that will add a lot of cool features, unlike what you're talking about there. I mentioned airdrops, PLS, and PLSX sackers. Yeah, we've got the Lights Beneath and Loan Lambos for me. Only Hex, EHEX, a PLS, and PLX. Yeah, I think that's the ultimate strategy. Lies Beneath has got the ultimate strategy there. I really do think that is the way to go. And accumulate volumes in a safe manner through staking. I think that's probably a good way to. Tunot says, hodl, stake it and stake another little piece of the Hex now, baby. Yeah. What channel? The Telegrams are very specific. Yeah, I'm not sure what Thomas is talking about there. Sorry. Oh, when you say later today about the live stream number 2, yeah. So they're pretty probably another 4.5 hours from now. Nebulous is probably when the second live stream. I can't carry a tune in a bucket, but I enjoy making my own words. It's funny. And of course, we have new member Ace in the house there. I'm just about up to date here, I think. Am I just about up to date? Yeah. Love the back end of the car. Nice. Let's jump through some of this. You do a great job. Much appreciated. Thomas says, you're my boy Blue. Sorry. Yeah, my blue boy Blue. That movie made, when I watched that movie, I laughed my head off. That movie was just insane. Says Sandy Beach. Nice. What else we got going? I'm just going through some of these. Can Pulse reach $30? No, I don't see it reaching $30, at least not anytime soon. It'd be a long way away. That's a long way away. By the time we got $30, there'd be a lot of congestion on the PulseChain. That would be my view on that. I'll just be excited about getting to 1 to 5 cents at this stage. Probably that would be where I'm be getting excited about. But of course, you got to hodl. If you won't get the 1,000 X returns if you have sold. If you've sold out at a 2x or 3x or 5x, you won't be getting the 1,000x. That's the way it goes. New member, Master Kane. Woohoo! Master Kane in the house. We're going to do the bow down to Master Kane. Master Kane's been in Discord, so it's good to see Master Kane as a channel member. Congratulations. Welcome to the family. And, of course, Master Kane in the house there. There's Master Kane. So we're going to give Master Kane a little smash up there and a little Superman and a little, we'll do a Hex and we'll do a PulseChain and we'll do a Pulse X. Nice. And we'll do, might as well do a Hex token channel there. And, yeah, nice. Welcome to Master Kane. What are we up to? 176. So don't forget to get into Twitter there as well. We've got Barry Crowder says, if we mint Maxi, what are our options on best game theory? We can sell the Maxi whenever or do whatever. We have to wait for 15 years to stake. Yeah. So Barry, yes, you can with Maxi as an ownership token. So you can sell your ownership in the Maxi treasury or Maximus treasury. And that Maximus treasury is made up of all the Hex that people put in, and it's going to get staked on day 880. So you'll have an ownership in that. Now, when the minting phases finish on day 879, that will be the total Maxi. There will be no more Maxi than what people mint at the moment from a 1-to-1. So you put 1 Hex in, you get 1 Maxi out at the moment. And day 879, that will finish, and there'll be no more Maxi. So you'll actually have the ownership of that. It's going to be pretty cool to see how it plays out. What's the price of it going to be over time? Well, presumably it should follow the treasury price up, as the treasury price starts at 1-to-1, but eventually you should be able to get more Maxi, more Hex, and Hedron per Maxi. So it's going to be cool. And yeah, you can sell it if you want. If you sell your Maxi, you will lose your ownership in the treasury. So just remember that's redemption up 5,505 days. So hopefully that gives you a bit of an update there, Master Kane. Put my money where my mouth is. Lol, I caught you, said, man. Hey, nice one, Master Kane. Welcome to the family. You look cool. Don't forget to use the emojis. If you're to all Ace and Master Kane, get the smash out those emojis in the chat there, because you got access to the emojis now. In fact, I should smash out a few myself. So let's post in a few emojis. Bam. And I'll go. Boop, 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 boop. All right. Cool. All right. So we got that. We got the emojis in the house there. Smash them out, Kane and Ace. Nice one. All right. What else we got going here? I don't know. Cream. We already asked for the $30 one, and $10 the same at this stage. You'll have to hodl. If you hodl long enough, I'm sure $10 will be potential, but the market cap would be insane by that time. That's for sure. Feeling the love, says Master Kane. Glad to be here. Nice, Master Kane. It's a cool name, by the way, as well. Pulse 10 cents would be awesome, says Dirty Paws. Yeah, I think 10 cents is in the game. There, that would be 1,000x for the retail book. So yeah. Welcome to the family. So we're talking about what else we got here. Master Kane says, thank you all. Long overdue. Happy to be here. Best community on earth. Absolutely. We look out for each other as much as we can as well. Barry Crowder says, let's say I'll sell my Maxi in 2 years. In theory, the Maxi would be worth more than Hex. Yes, it should be in theory. Nice one with the Master Kane's got the emojis out, just like I was talking about. I think you beat me to it though. Love it, says Master Kane. And yeah, what else we got? Barry says, do you think I got rugged on a core? I don't even know what that is, Barry. What is Barry saying? Let me pull that up on this screen. I do not know what that is. I do not know what that is, Barry. Get into the Discord and we can talk about it there. Ace is in the house there with the emojis, looking good. So Ace and Mr. Kane, big shout out. Woo-hoo-hoo. And Sandy Beach smashing out the emojis too. Nice. Yeah, very nice. Some of those emojis cool. Now there's a wild card emoji, and so I switched that out. If we're talking about a particular topic, I'll switch it out into the wild card emoji. So we do have a change there as well. I think we're about to open up another emoji too on the YouTube. So let's see on that. YouTube's a little bit sluggish there. Yeah, I think that's going to not showing up yet. Oh, it's really laggy. Don't know why it's lagging on the old emojis there. Let me have a look. Yeah, we may be unlocking another one there, so we'll see. We'll see how we get on. We may have another emoji unlock. That'd be cool. Name is courteous of DOD lol Master Kane of Monastery of the Yellow Rose. Proper vintage nerd. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it reminds me of that. So, Hex Token, what are your views on the fact that Mintra has no time locks on its staking mechanism? Is that innovative? Nebulous. I was not actually aware of that. So I think that's actually maybe I had seen it actually. And I'm thinking about because I have looked through. I've talked about the UI for Mintra. I really like the UI for Mintra. I think it's actually was a real surprise to the upside. I didn't sacrifice for Mintra. When I saw the UI, I was like, oh, I should have probably sacrificed for it now because I think their product actually more advanced than Internet Money, which I really like too. I sacrificed for that, but Mintra seems like they're right at the frontier. It looks like they're going to be on PulseChain out of the gate. So that's going to be a huge bonus to people in Mintra. So yeah, that's probably the only thing I would say is that I probably should have sacrificed for Mintra now that I look back at it. But you know, I'm busy doing content creation and other stuff, so you know, you get a bit busy. Cause a bird token had 100 million market cap in 3 days, got listed in 9 exchanges without social media or website, same trade volume and Russia deployment set in ETH. Okay, cool. I have no idea, Barry. I might have to look at that, but that's off topic here, so we'll leave that one. Cool. And we're going to wrap up an hour and 36 minutes. I will be doing a second live stream later today. Hope you guys enjoyed that. And we're going to get onto it. So heading out for a bit, gang. Catch you later. That's me too. It's now and me are both heading out. So thanks for watching, everybody. Get into Discord, and we will have a lot of fun. And let's for watching. And I will catch you guys later again for live stream number 2. Now I will looking to have some guests tomorrow. So guests tomorrow will be on Gen Hex, hopefully tomorrow. And of course, getting some possibly having some guests tomorrow here on as well. So stay tuned for that. Cool. Damn. Continue to have fun over on official Pulsification YouTube. 5 minutes raid. Yeah, so go over and raid official Pulsification. Thomas just said that's a really good idea. Say that you're from Hex Token and go over and raid official Pulsification. Say you're from Hex Token there. And thanks, Thomas, for that one. That's a good idea. Hex Token, Hex Down Under. Nice with the ducks. Yep. I think Hex Token says, Sandy, you're welcome. Thanks for watching, of course. Gen Hex is in the house. Woo! Don't forget to also go over and raid Pulsification now. Say Hex Token sent you, but also don't forget Gen Hex doing a really cool stream tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. That's coming up, and hopefully I'll be on that too. Mr. Kane with the emojis. Nice. And Fat Sammy's with the emojis. Yeah, smash those emojis out on the way out. You know how we roll. I'm going to smash some too. Let me just get those. Bam, 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 bam. I'm just hitting them randomly now. That's cool. All right. Bye for now. Take care. See you in the next time. Woohoo! We're rocking it on the DMV. Hit the like, says Big Kahuna. That's right. We got the emojis and the yo-yo. All right. Bye for now. Take care. See ya. Peace.